Alrighty, good afternoon and welcome back to episode 4 of the Parafed Huddle. Today I am joined with Neelam and she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey through parasport, what she does, what she loves, a little bit of advice and how you can get involved in her sport. So Neelam, tell me about yourself because I know you, but others might not.
Hi, I'm Neelam. I'm a shooting parasport athlete. So how I got into shooting. Shooting's always been part of my life. I tried out shooting the first time when I was about 6 or 7, just on a family camp, shooting a slug gun with my stepdad, just cans and containers. Really enjoyed it because it was just a bit of fun. Didn't really think much about it. And then, throughout the years, it just, little fun family things because we lived on the farm a couple of times. It just pop up, so we would do it. And then when I was 15, my friend told me about a competition that was happening at school, which was a national 22 rifle competition that happens. And I guess one of the years I was like, okay, yeah, might as well give it a go. Like, why not? Gave it a go. And because you're in groups of 3, my team got 20th in the country. So then I was like, oh, I can actually do this. Like, this is really cool. And there was a lot of people that were surprised that I was like this newcomer and I was beating all these people that had been there for years and years. So then I trained every Friday night leading up to the next competition the following year. And then my team got first in the country. So I was like, oh, this is something I really enjoy. Like, I can't believe that, something so tiny, I can hit this little tiny dot from the wall, gets so accurate. So that was really cool. And then in 2011, I moved down to Auckland for university, and somebody told me about Parafed Auckland. And I was like, what is this? Like, I've never heard of Parafed Auckland. And they told me that there was air rifle there as well. So I tried out air rifle and yeah, I was hooked. I was like, yep, this is definitely what I want to do. I just want to hit that dot every time. So then when I graduated in 2014, I had to make the decision whether I stay in Auckland for shooting or whether I continue career-wise and go anywhere else pretty much. So I decided to stay because I was like, you know what, shooting's picking up. I think there's something in here, like some golden nuggets in here that I need to dig out. So I did my first international competition end of 2014 and did the Australian Grand Prix, which I got 3rd in against some of the Australian Paralympians, which was really cool. So that obviously gave me a bit of motivation to be like, okay, international, I can do this. Yes. So then I went back to Australia for the World Cup in 2015, been to Thailand in 2017, went to UAE 2019, and then back to Australia for World Championships in end of 2019 as well. So I've traveled a bit with shooting, and yeah, now it's just working towards the next Paralympic Games.
Awesome. That is actually so epic. Like, I think when I met you for the first time, I was sort of like shooting. I was like, what is this and how is it even possible? But so what is it exactly about shooting? I know you said about the accuracy that you love, but is there any sort of other element that you love about the sport?
Well, it's a calm sport, right? So everyone thinks shooting must be super easy because it's there's absolutely no movement, and you're not banging into people, you're not chasing anybody or like going really fast and exhausting yourself. You're not, it's nothing got to do with speed or anything except for the gun itself, right? But to be honest, shooting is a 90% mental game. So it's all about trying to be calm, be ready, and be able to take that most accurate shot as possible within a calm state. And when you're like, everyone gets full of adrenaline when something amazing happens, right? So in our finals, which is how we determine who gets first, second, and third, there's a huge adrenaline rush between everybody. And it's all about who handles it the best to be able to shoot the best score. And so, yeah, it's a complete mind game because you're like, you want to jump, you want to move, you want to get rid of that like extra energy, but you can't. You have to stay calm and collected, breathe through it, and then stay focused on the target. Yeah.
It sounds tricky. I don't know if I'd have the mental game to do it, but it's epic that you do. So you've mentioned that you've competed overseas a bit. So what would be your most favorite competition and why?
Ooh, that's hard because I've been to Australia 4 times for shooting. It's been quite a lot of times. So the Sydney range is almost like a third home because like I've been there so many times, know all the ins and outs. But to be honest, my favorite competitions are actually home competitions. So my absolute favorite, I think, of all time was my first away from home competition. So that was in 2013 and it was Waikato Champs. So we had to go down to Hamilton for it. And it was the first competition that both my parents had actually seen me shoot. So they hadn't seen me shoot at all. So they just were like, oh, you're into shooting. Cool. Like, it's a thing. It's a hobby. It's good. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, come and check it out. Like, come and see how I do. And I did the match and, my stepdad was helping me with the match, which was cool. And then the final came around and at the time, I was one of 2 women competing against the rest of them were guys. So there was like a big kind of, I want to say stigma, but there was a big thing around it where women weren't seen as capable top shooters kind of thing. So they were like, she's a girl, carry on kind of thing. And anyway, so then when I was doing the final, something just inside me kind of just clicked, like everything just fell into the right place. And I ended up taking out my first gold. So it was really exciting because it was in Waikato, so away from home, and like beating the guys by, I think it was only by 0.2 of a point. It was ridiculously close. It was just really exciting. And for my parents to see that, they could see the reason why I love shooting, and that probably kicked off the whole journey, really. Yeah, but other favorite competitions are definitely ones where I play cat and mouse with my coach Michael Johnson, just because like he's top shooter, everybody knows him, like he's really good at what he does, and there are just some instances where I can just get up to him, and even actually in a blue moon I do beat him every so often. But it's just so good having that chase and like having that feeling, that drive of like, I need to be better, I need to shoot better, I need to be more accurate, and then actually seeing the payoff from the work that you do. It's really rewarding. Yeah,
and I reckon it would be such a good I guess supporter to have Michael on your side as well, like just because he's had that experience at so many Paralympics. That you talked about the mental game at the beginning, so it's sort of like, how do you help to build that mental strength? Yeah 100%. I know through your Instagram that you have a little friend, it's a little penguin, and his name is Penguin. Can you tell me who that is and what's the story behind him?
Good old Penguin the penguin. So Penguin the penguin comes from, originally, there was an ad, I think it was a tower insurance ad, where there was, a big penguin that was trying to break into a car or something, and then they go, boom, take that, penguin. So Mike's very known for his quotes of like advertisements and things. So boom, take that, penguin became a very common quote throughout the range in 2014. And so when I went over for my first competition to Australia, on one of my days off, I went to Sea Life in Darwin Harbour. And yeah, that's all this tiny little penguin. I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. I was like, I'm going to get him and just like, be boom, take that, penguin. So he ended up being the original boom, take that, penguin. But then every competition I did after that, I took him overseas with me. And then eventually he got recognised as being New Zealand's shooting mascot. So yeah, so Penguin the penguin has travelled actually more than I have, which is very upsetting, but at the same time very cool. So he's been to 2 Paralympics now. So he went to Rio, he's gone to Tokyo, he's come back, he's currently with Mike in Auckland, and he's been to UAE a few times, he's been to Korea, he's been France,
More than me
And
as
Thailand,
well.
obviously, he's a well-traveled penguin, I must say.
He must have a good passport, lots of stamps.
Yeah, definitely, and he makes friends everywhere he goes. So, like, there's always stories and photos, and yeah, I think it's been really good to have him at every competition that we've had as well, because just having a little mascot makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I know many other sports that have a mascot that's quite as dedicated as him. So
yeah, to be honest, it wasn't supposed to be a international thing, but for some reason, he just got recognized by the World Shooting Para Sport, that he was the mascot for New Zealand shooting. And I was like, wow, my imagination has taken this so far. What has happened? But it ends up being really cool though as well, because then he just goes everywhere and people recognize who he is.
Yeah, there were some really awesome photos at the end of Tokyo with sisters Valerie and Lisa, so that was kind of cool that he's seeing all these famous people. More famous than me. I'm jealous he's meeting all these cool people.
He's met quite a lot of theirs. He's met Sophie, he's met the Adams sisters, and even just overseas shooters. He met actually, just side note, he met it's Matt Schutzman, I think. He's the guy that does archery with his feet. He's a silver medalist.
From the States?
Yeah. So he met him as well in Rio.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, this penguin's got the best life.
I know, right? He's got the connections. That's what it is.
Exactly. So what do you reckon is the biggest lesson that you've learnt through participating in sport and particularly shooting?
Resilience, I reckon. Resilience has been a biggest lesson, just because I guess from my stories and stuff, you'll see I've had a lot of good highlights within my shooting career, but behind closed doors there's a lot of hard work that goes into it and a lot of ups and downs that happen too. Just for example, Tokyo didn't happen. I was super disappointed and super upset about it, but you just build from it, and it just helps you to replan and rethink your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And I love the saying, what you do in the dark will come to light. So that's what I live for. The hard work that you do will eventually pay off. You just got to keep going. I
love that quote. I'm going to write that somewhere because I need that. That's really nice. So you talked a little bit about missing out on Tokyo, but you quickly transformed into one of the biggest cheerleaders I've ever seen for the New Zealand team. What did that mean for you, I guess, sort of mentally, and by supporting those friends that were close to you in their journeys through Tokyo?
Yeah, look, I love sport, and I love New Zealand and our athletes here. So supporting them was easy, absolutely, 100% easy, because, I had a lot of friends that went over to Tokyo, and, because it's not just shooting, I have friends in all different sports, which is really cool. And supporting them was just amazing, and seeing how they, just shine. It's shine in their elements, and actually some of them getting gold medals was marvelous, absolute brilliant. And to witness that, it should be celebrated. And people I remember one of my lecturers who actually followed my athlete page, he was like, it was so good following your athlete page and seeing which Paralympians got medals, because I didn't have to look anywhere, because people weren't advertising it anywhere. He was like, I just jump on your page and I'd see it all there. And I was like, exactly. I just wanted to make it known that these amazing people are doing amazing stuff out there, and it should be acknowledged and known that we've got some amazing athletes out there. So
definitely. So what advice would you give to baby Neelam, or maybe some of our junior Parafed Auckland athletes that are starting in their para journey, or maybe wanted to try something new?
So I'd say try every opportunity possible, because you don't know where those opportunities would get you to. I think also when things like, if you're already in a sport, especially as a junior, because I know like all athletes work hard to get whatever goal that they have, but don't be so hard on yourself is a big one as well. I think because we're always looking for ways to improve, but along the way, when you're looking for ways to improve, you kind of forget about what your actual strengths are in the meantime as well. And the strengths are what's going to get you to where you need to be. So yeah, like don't be so hard on yourself and take every opportunity that you can to be the best that you can be.
Yeah. That's really good advice, and I think it's so crucial for our youth to know that, like, you know, their journey doesn't stop at one sport. Like, the world's their oyster. They can do anything that they put their mind to, which I think is really, really awesome.
100%. I know I've got a huge connection to shooting, but I did swimming I did swimming all the way through till I was 18. Actually, like I started swimming when I was 6 months old. So swimming was actually a huge part of my life before shooting came along and took over. And I tried different sports too. Like I tried sailing, I tried curling, and then archery I tried as one stage. And yeah, like you just gotta try anything and everything that you can to actually find out what parts you like and what parts you don't. And something will just click and you'll be like, yes, this is what I like. Yeah.
So you're one of our Parafed Auckland Scholarship recipients from 2020. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
What did that scholarship mean to you, and how did that scholarship then help to support your journey through 2020?
So that scholarship means a great deal to me, because being an athlete that's not at the high performance level, but you know, still trying to reach there, and not having the financial backing to be able to do that actually gave me the ability to, you know, still maintain things within my sport. So like memberships and entry fees, equipment, because pallets cost quite a lot if you shoot a lot like I do. And, you know, like the scholarship just helped with, you know, these necessities that I needed to help get through 2020 as well, and help me to prepare for what I thought was going to be Tokyo Games. But yeah, prepare for parts of my journey that were quite important. So yeah, the scholarship, like I'm super grateful to Parafed Auckland and Carbine Club funding for the scholarship that I've received as well. And I suggest to any athlete that needs financial assistance to apply, because there isn't that many opportunities out there for people with disabilities for funding. Fortunately, we do, like, you know, with Sport New Zealand bringing out more funding this year for people with disabilities, that's a great start. But in saying that, like, yeah, if you fall within the cracks like I do, where it's like just before high performance, there's like almost literally nothing there. So having something like the Parafed Auckland Scholarship really, really helped me to get to where I am today. Yeah.
Awesome. And I guess sort of last question would be, why do you think that the Parafed Auckland programs that we currently offer benefit especially our youth who are starting in their sport journey?
Oh, because everybody needs a little help at the beginning. There's no doubt about it. Like, you know, when I started, luckily I was like, you know, I was actually young. I was 18 when I started shooting. So I still had like, I still could apply for like Halberg and little things here and there. And every bit helps, because equipment and fees for coaches and just like, you know, competition fees and things like that, it all adds up, especially if you're starting out in the sport or recreational activity as well. There's a lot of costs behind it, and people don't see that most of the time. So yeah, having something like the Parafed Auckland Scholarship will help you to actually make that start, and actually possibly open up opportunities to do other things as well, which might not have been available before because you might not have had the financial backing. So it's very vital, I reckon, for that journey to actually have something there to help you along the way. So
definitely. Last question, because I realized I've got another question. If someone wanted to get involved in parachuting, where do they go? What do they do?
Message me. No, yeah, but actually you can. So message me. You can do it through my Facebook page or Instagram if you've got my Instagram, which is just Neelam O'Neill, I think. It is. Yeah.
I'll put some tags in.
Yeah. And yeah, or you can message us at Team PASC, so Team TEAMPASC @gmail.com. And just write us an email, be like, hey, like, want to try it out? Like, can I come and see how it is? Obviously after lockdown, because like we don't know how long lockdown's going to be, but yeah, and then somebody will get back to you and we can organize a time for you to come in, and you might potentially get me as a coach. So winning.
Fingers crossed. Awesome.
I'm best coach, by the way, just saying.
Definitely. But thank you honestly so much, Neelam, for joining our podcast today. It's been so awesome to hear about your journey and to see what your next steps are within Parafed, particularly in Parafed Auckland, and then as well as in your para shooting, which is so cool. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and that is the end of episode 4. Bye.